welcome to another edition of Game School. Hope you're well, and there's no school like the old school, and I'm the headmaster. Just to sort of give you a brief overview of what I've been talking about up until this point. If you have seen any of my other casts, you'll sort of know that I've just been taking you along my historical journey, shall we say, in terms of my interest in gaming. So yesterday we talked quite a bit about the PlayStation 3 and how I enjoyed that, but not really overly enamoured with it when I got hold of it. But it was pretty good. It was a good stopgap to the PlayStation 4. And today that's where I want to bring you pretty much up to date, really, with where I am. So, like I say, love the PlayStation 3, but not fully overly enamoured with it in terms of how much I was waiting for other consoles to come on board. Underwhelming is probably the phrase I'd use. It was pretty good. It was better than the last one, that's for sure, but probably not enough to make me go out, queue and wait on launch day. I'm not really that sort of person to do that, to be totally honest with you. Hey, each to their own. So got hold of a PlayStation 4 when that came out. I think I got that not on launch day, but within the first week of it being launched. Again, there was much more. The wow factor was definitely back with the PlayStation, for me anyway, on that particular device. Much bigger. I actually literally upgraded pretty much straight away. I think its standard came 500 gigs, and which is pretty good. But also you've got storing online on the cloud, and you also got storing externally anyway. So storing wise, as long as you've got the capacity, it's pretty much endless. I pretty much upgraded straight away to Terra, which has served me pretty well from as we stand now. I am just slightly running out of space. I need to get an external hard drive, which again, brilliant. But so PlayStation 4, really slick looking machine. Again, a slightly different take on from the last console. Controls pretty much similar, but what you had was this touchpad in the middle of the controller, which obviously you could move things, almost use it like a mouse type of thing, which is really cool. In some of the games that is really improved gameplay, or done, allowed you to do things which you couldn't normally do in other games, or maybe a little bit more fiddly. So the controller was a whole pretty much similar, the way it felt and the way you can do certain things. And you've also got tracking as well for the camera movement and things like this, which with the PlayStation 4 they really tried to sort of utilize pretty much straight away with the Playroom. Not sure how much that's really taken off. Maybe they were just testing the water for things. Family fun and all these things. There's a few little good games out there, but in the mainstream I don't think it's really taken off, or people have really taken to it in any big numbers. But future, later on, when you're thinking about things like the PlayStation VR, which again, I was a very early adopter of the PlayStation VR, which I have to say I've enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, the tracking. So you've got tracking on on the controllers, and also the standard rumble, which the rumble did intense slightly as well. Actually got quite a lot better, but that's more gaming. The design of the games improved that dramatically, I think. So yeah, the PlayStation 4, brilliant machine actually. They're staying ahead of the game in terms of their fight with Xbox or Microsoft. Microsoft's Xbox, brilliant. Again, really good machine. I don't think there's a huge amount in it in terms of capacity and everything else, and it's just the games. The PlayStation are blowing Microsoft out the water at the moment for the games that are available straight away. If you're someone who is, as I say, queuing outside the shops to get these things, or waiting online to download them, paying your pre-order money, PlayStation definitely, I've got the better games, or the more popular games, should we say. Microsoft need to up their game, and there's nothing in the pipeline at this stage really that I've heard of. Again, I don't, I've got the inside knowledge, but what I've heard of so far, there's nothing in the pipeline, nothing extraordinary happening with them. So PlayStation for me is still the way to go. Like I said, really couldn't wait to get hold of the PlayStation 4. Again, took the whole sort of, there's a lot of subtleties with the differences with PlayStation 3 and 4, which I really enjoyed. So again, it's a much thinner machine. You can put stuff on it, whereas it's slick and as nice looking as the PlayStation 3 was, which it was a very handsome looking machine. It had this sort of rounded top where you couldn't put anything on top of it, and it was quite an awkward thing to put anywhere, to be blunt about it. So that was the one of the main differences, just in the looks. They'd streamlined everything in it, and it was pretty much almost like a Bang & Olufsen sort of design, where there was nothing on show outside. It was literally, oh my god, where'd you put the disc? It's unless you know where it is, you wouldn't guess. Literally no buttons on the front. There's a few USB ports for charging your controllers and things like this, if need be, if you hadn't got a station charger. So but hardware and the chip that it's running and everything else is again a massive upgrade on the last version. So I'm not going to go heavily into the games about PlayStation because we're up to date. We all know what games are available on the PS4 at the moment, but I'll go into some of the ones maybe that I've just started sort of playing. But my gaming has taken a dramatic change in a different direction, and I think it's ruined forever YU VR. It's hard to go back from VR to flat gaming once you've used to play it, I would say. The same as as soon as the PlayStation 4 came available, the PlayStation 3 for me was redundant. I just it's not far enough back in the history for it to start being nostalgic. And so anyway, so that's where we were. I've got hold of a PlayStation 4, loved it, started playing these improved games, improved graphics, all the standard, everything just gets up the ante again with each model. Now the difference now with what PlayStation have done here is, rather than bringing out a PlayStation 5, they've called their next console PlayStation 4 Pro, or PlayStation Pro, which is what I'm currently playing now, or currently using now. Again, it is a faster machine. I can do a few comparisons of some titles that I've got that I just wanted to make sure that what I was buying was actually going to make a difference. And at this level now, the fact that something is slightly crispy, there's no jaggies, there's a little bit faster gameplay, maybe in a driving games you don't get scenery popping up, it just comes in smoother. That's really what the PlayStation Pro has brought to my gaming. But like I said to you, I was really excited at the beginning of last year, at the beginning of this year, because PlayStation had announced that they were going to produce a VR unit or a VR headset for their PlayStation. That changed my whole view on gaming. I've been waiting for VR or virtual playability in homes for ages. Now, yes, I know the Rift and the Vive are out there, and they're I played both actually, and they are pretty impressive. They are, if you get the system right. But that's the big key, and this is why I'm not a PC gamer. It's crazily expensive. Crazy. You need to have the fastest, the most powerful machine known to man that could send rockets up into space, whatever. You need to have this crazy powerful machine, and it's expensive. You need a 1,500, £2,000 machine before you even start looking at playing getting hold of a PC sort of VR headset. So it has put me off a bit, really, and if there's one thing I quite enjoy, it is plug and play. That's just the way I am. So PlayStation come along and said, look, we've got this headset, VR headset, that you can just plug into your PlayStation, and it will transform you to another world. Yeah, I like the idea of that, but I've been let down so many times in this genre. And to be perfectly honest with you, this is as blown away as I've ever been with anything to do with games. Even more blown away than when I got my first ever Atari console, and that was pretty impressive. That took me. I was transformed there. So I was hooked from day one, and I've been waiting. Like I said, I have been waiting for this for many years. So got hold of the PlayStation 4, or actually I played it before I actually even got hold of it as a demo, because that's what they were doing at first. I literally couldn't wait to have that in my home. I think I've become a bit of a VR bore with my friends, just raving about how good this is. Yes, I know there's a few issues. Yes, I know things are slightly blurry. Yes, I know that there's a few glitches with the move controls. But this is the first gen. This is stuff that will get ironed out, and I think PlayStation are here, and they are committed to it now. So, like I say, this is where I am at the moment. I'm going to stop it here because I do want to talk a lot about VR now, because VR is just my favourite thing in the world. There's no school like the old school, and I'm the headmaster.